This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Entertaining and informative.
Oh, you're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Here at home, a car has hit and killed a 19-year-old woman at a bus stop in Queens. She was struck along Rockaway Beach Boulevard in Rockaway Park near 108th Street. That white SUV that hit her badly damaged. That SUV also knocked over several metal seats at that bus stop.
A large, skirt, somebody hit the brakes and then boom. By the time I looked, I saw the car on the sidewalk turn over the two seats for the bus stop right there and right into the pole.
We've just learned the driver who struck the 19-year-old has been taken into custody. The car went up onto the sidewalk where police say the woman was hit at a bus stop. Police say the driver remained on scene. No word yet what caused the crash.
Ava Conklin, today, 1 year to the day where that tragedy took place. By the Shade of Pale, great song, Lewis. And as I've told you many times on this show, I didn't know Ava. I've got to know her father, Matt. He listens every day. I've never met Matt. I've never spoken to Matt. Our relationship has been a lot of text messages. So I'm looking forward, actually, to speaking with Ava's courageous father right here, right now on this horrible day. Matt Conklin. Matt, welcome to Sid and Friends in the Morning. Nice to finally hear your voice, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. How are you?
I'm okay. The bigger question is, how are you?
Not gonna lie, every day is a struggle, but we're pushing through. So,
yeah,
I'm getting like a little emotional right now.
No. Listen, I couldn't even imagine. I admitted earlier this morning, Matt, that part of the reason why I was drawn to this story in the first place was your daughter and my daughter have the same name. They're the same age, and they're both beautiful young ladies. I was like, my God, I mean, this is Ava. So certainly,
it's a fabulous name.
It is a fabulous name. So before we get to what happened that day and what's going on with the case, I think today, I would hope at least, while it's very, very sad, even for me, I didn't even know Ava, and I'm broken up. I would hope today is a celebration to everybody I know in our community, Matt. Loved her. I mean, loved her. Tell me about your daughter.
Well, very special. She started off, as a baby, just singing songs, and we knew right there and then that this is something that she was passionate about, and that's what she did through grammar school. Then she went to Talented Unlimited in the city, which is a great high school. She graduated from there. But before that, she was also in a thing called Rosie's Kids, which is like Rosie's Theater Kids. And she was part of that for a very long time as well, acting and dancing and everything else. So she was very passionate about that. And then COVID hit for her junior and senior, which kind of sucked because they weren't really limited to what they would do. they tried to put on shows and stuff, but it was like everything was Zoom.
Yeah.
And then she started work. She graduated high school and started work, and she wasn't sure what she wanted to do yet. And she started working for Park Avenue Tavern in the city. She did that for, I want to say, a year, and then mid-year she reached out to us and said, Dad, I'm thinking about going to school. And we're like, great, that's awesome. And then she chose University of Vermont, which is Lyndonville out there, and she was trying to pursue psychology as her major and everything like that. And then last year after the break, drove up, bring her home, and she started. She put out her made a couple of phone calls, and her old manager from Park Avenue was actually managing at the time Margie's in the hotel. And he reached out to her, and then she started working there.
So she was working right there at the Rockaway Hotel, where I know you guys are going to meet at some point today, and I imagine you live very, very close to the hotel, but not close enough. I guess she had to take the bus from the hotel home. Is that why she was at that bus stop?
No, she was at the bus stop, actually, because one of my younger daughters, they were going to take the ferry into the city. My daughter loved the city, loved Central Park, loved the West Side Highway, and I want to say it's between 57th and 59th Street on the West Side Highway. She loved this one tree where she would sit with her friends and just sit there for hours and hours and hours, and that's where they were going to go. They were going to go have a picnic with one of my younger kids. So she was getting off, and she was waiting there, and my daughter was actually on the bus before all this happened. She was on her way to her. That's why Ava was sitting there.
Did the bus actually pull up to that spot after the accident?
It did, and that's how we found out. A fireman grabbed my daughter's phone and called here, and they just said, "Hi, I'm with your daughter. Your one daughter was hit by a car," and that's all we knew. So I was like, "All right, I'll run over," and I drove over, and then we didn't know who it was at the time, and when I seen Peyton, I said, "All right, where's Ava?" And then that's when they said, "Oh, she's in the ambulance." And, and everybody swore up to me that she was stable, she was fine. Mm. But, I can see by just looking at her, I'm no rocket scientist, but I can see that she was hurt.
Yeah, she was hurt bad. I know Joe Corey. I just met Joe Corey for the first time yesterday. He loves you, and he's the guy that fights for all of us in our neighborhood, and he said she was hurt pretty bad. When was the first time you saw her after the accident? In the hospital?
Well, I seen her in the ambulance, which they would not let me in. I was arguing. I was asking this one old police officer from the 100 precinct, who I have no respect for him, but he like fighting me, telling me I'm not able to see my daughter, which didn't make any sense to me.
What was his excuse? What was his excuse? Of course, it makes no sense.
He was just like he kept telling me to relax, and as I'm talking to you, this is how I was talking to him. I said, all due respect, Mr. Police Officer John Smith. I said, I am calm, and it looks to me like my daughter needs me. Yeah. And he was like, "You're not getting past me. You're not getting past me. You're not getting past me." And then that's when everybody basically was like, "Oh no, she's stable, she's fine. We'll meet you at the hospital. So me saying, "Okay," and I looked at a CO and she did nothing. She turned her head when I asked her, "Hey, what's going?" You know what I mean? Basically brushed me off, and then which is crazy.
Well, I want to get to the 100 and how the cops treated you and what's happened with the case since. And not to make this too hurtful for you, Matt, it's the last thing I want to do. We've developed a pretty good friendship over the last couple of months. But was your daughter at all conscious? Did she say anything to you before she died that day?
No. So they had her. I guess they wanted to say they sedated her in the ambulance. I guess because they had her hooked up on an oxygen machine. They had her hooked up. But I kept telling her, "Daddy's here. Don't worry. I just wanted to hold the hand or whatever." Yeah. But I understand that there was a lot of people at the time in the back of the ambulance. But in the back of my head, I just wanted to be with her. And so, long story short, they sent me to Jamaica Hospital, which they never went to. They turned around, they pulled a detour, and they went to Brookdale Hospital. So by the time that I drove from one hospital to another hospital, doing 120 miles an hour, which thank God I didn't kill anybody or myself.
Right.
That's when I got there, and she held on for as long as she could, and she'd passed before I got there.
You know, I was talking to Joe Corey yesterday about the possibility of maybe one day opening up a trauma center. We've got nothing in our neighborhood. We've been very low on hospitals, and he said, I'm not sure it would have saved Ava's life because Ava really was beaten pretty bad. It was a bad accident. Yeah. But it could certainly help somebody along the way. So as the father of a beautiful girl who went through this tragedy, I'd imagine you're all in to get some type of trauma center in our neighborhood, yes?
Yes, anything for I'm all in for changing some laws for more public safety. But yes, a trauma center. If that's what the people want and that's what everybody thinks that we need, and I'm on board.
Well, what else would you add to that list of things that we need?
Let's see. Well, I would change the laws where if you're posting 25 miles an hour and you're doing 40, 42, 45, whatever it is, and you hit something or kill somebody, that's in like the state of New York, that's okay. So why? And then I asked them, and I asked the people, the higher ups. Well, then why have signs that says 25 miles an hour if I can do whatever speed I want? With
you're
no
right.
repercussions?
It doesn't make any sense. So
no, it's 0 cents. Yeah.
0 cents. So what I read, and this is where you can clear this up, and I've been talking to you for months about getting the word out about this case, is that this guy, Daniel Seals, fell asleep. He was 30 years old, fell asleep, was doing twice the speed limit when he hit Ava. So clearly he was at the very least reckless, if not murderous. And as far as I know, this accident, of course, happened a year ago today, but they never even brought this guy into custody until January. Is that right?
Yeah. That is correct, and I just want to correct you. It was not an accident. An accident can be avoided. You know what I mean? This was a crash. Yeah. He crashed into her. Yeah. So,
have you met this Daniel Seals since that day?
In court, we have the case is still going on. So
did he seem when he was in court? Did he say he's sorry? Was there any?
He just looked at us and smiled.
He smiled?
Smiled, yes. This piece of shit smiled at us.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. And what about his parents? Were they there in attendance?
They were all there, yep.
Have they voiced any
nothing? Just nothing but dirty looks.
And did they live in our neighborhood? Are they from our neighborhood?
They do.
They do. Okay.
They live in Far Rockaway, yep.
They live in Far Rockaway. So he smiles. The parents offer zero remorse. He ends up in court 6-7 months after he literally murders your daughter. And then I had read that the trial was to start the month after in February. Whatever happened with that?
It's just going back and forth. This is like the judicial system. It's just the way they run things in the state of New York. It's no wonder that we're broke. You know what I mean? They do everything half-ass backwards, and I understand that they're on my side and like that, but sometimes I don't feel like the state of New York is on my side at all. I actually feel like I'm going up against that scumbag, his lawyer, and the New York State. You know.
Well, I know Mark Healy, where I first became aware of this was in The Wave, our local paper. Mark does a great job. Yeah. I don't know, and again, I've got 3 different news reports. I played 2 of them, local reports from CBS and ABC News from that day. Since then, outside of the local paper, The Wave, have you had any other support from any publications in New York, news stations, somebody saying there needs to be some type of justice for Ava?
Yeah, we've had, there's a paper in the city called West 42nd Street. I've talked to a couple of different people from The Wave, from the news, but the news person never really actually got back to me. They said we're going to run a story, and I haven't heard from them again. But as part of like publication and papers and stuff like that, and the Rockaway Times.
Yeah,
they've been getting back to me, and they're writing things. But other than that, like the big-time papers, like the big-time ones, the News, Post, and stuff like that, not really.
I'm surprised the Post, because the Post is a pretty good paper. I would imagine some of these people may be down by the bus stop or the Rockaway Hotel today on the 1 year. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Yeah. I mean, I would love to. I'm here. I'm available to talk to anybody. You know, there's certain things that I can't express too much, but I do have all the facts.
Now, just so I don't know if you're married, if you're divorced, who your wife is, Ava's mom. Now, who is she in this?
Now, Ava's mom, we were married and we were divorced, and we have 2 kids together, Ava and Emma. And so Chrissy lives in the city where Ava and Emma and their brother Hudson reside, and I live in Broad Channel with my wife and kids as well.
Got it. Okay. So your other 2 children with Chrissy still live in the city?
Yes.
And how many kids you have now in our neighborhood?
I have 3.
3. And just so you know, Matt, everybody that I know in our neighborhood knows you and loves you. In fact, I was talking to somebody that you can certainly identify with, Marty Feeney. He owns Adrian's in Broad Channel where you live, and his daughter also died way too young. She was about 10 years older than Ava, but she died way too young. Beautiful girl. The restaurant is named after her. So is this part of a local support group where you guys got to know each other?
No, I grew up in Broad Channel. I'm 50 years old. I will be 51 in August, which is ironic because Ava's birthday is August 3rd and I'm August 6th.
Wow.
So Ava will turn 21 and I will turn 51.
Got it.
So she was my birthday present a very long time ago. But I've known Marty and everybody like that. Like I said, I've grown up in the town of Broad Channel, and then after 9/11, I actually moved into the city, which was supposed to be a year, but I wound up staying 10, getting married, having kids, and then I wound up moving back.
How about any local politicians, Matt? I don't know, like, for example, I know Joanne Ariola. She's a Republican. I think you're on the same page as I am with the politics. In fact, I know you are. Any local politicians, even Democrats like Meeks, anybody step up?
I don't know who that is. Who it is? Meeks?
Good.
Who? Yeah, I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna lie to you. The first person who reached out to me is a dear friend of my mother's, and it's Stacy Amato. She's friends with my mom, and she's been there.
It's funny, it's funny you say I'm not going to lie to you because I'm dear friends with Tom Sullivan, and she stole the election. Yeah. But if she helped you with your daughter, I'm okay with that. That's good.
Yeah. She like I said, she's been there since the very beginning. Joanne is here now, and I just actually got good news. So I guess I can spread the love here. We put in to get the street named after my daughter, and it passed unanimously. So
oh my God.
The next, and that's thanks to Joanne and everybody. So
wow.
After that, I don't know what the next step is, but I will let you know.
So is that 105th Street, that block right there?
108th.
108th, I'm sorry, right. The gym is on 105th, right.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of tragedy the last couple of years. We renamed 129th Street after Timothy Klein, a young firefighter, your daughter. Mm-hmm. So we've endured a lot of tragedy, but I love the fact that they're renaming the streets. Even before that, I didn't know this young lady, some young lady who was a great college basketball player, Claire Drosch.
Claire, yep.
Did you know her?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so we've endured some tragedy. Well, so give me the last thing. Where exactly are we with this case? Where are we? Just nowhere?
We're still in limbo. So we go back in July 9th, and we'll see what happens. Depending on. Oh, but
you do go back. You do go back July 9th.
Yes, I go back July 9th, and then I guess we're basically waiting on whether or not they want to go to trial or not. Everything is in their hands, basically.
Yeah. So on the way out here, Matt, and I'm going to get down there today. I only have a 90-minute time window between getting back to Rockaway and heading back out to Riverhead to be honored with Darryl Strawberry tonight. But I'm going to make my way down to the hotel for a couple of minutes just to see you.
Very good.
Of course. But in the final couple of seconds, and in case Ava is listening, I always believe they are, whether it's your daughter, my father, or other people that we've lost along the way. If she is listening, what do you want to say to your daughter this morning?
Ava, we love you, and I'm still fighting for you, and you're you will never ever be forgotten, and we've got to keep pushing until we change all the laws and stuff like that, and that we love you. Thank you, Sid.
All right, Matt. God bless you. We will fight, and I fight with you. You know that. God bless you. Matt Conklin right there, and folks, say a prayer for the Conklin family and Ava, who we lost a year ago today.